What's up, Team Seeds? How are you doing there? Depending on the real time and geographic location you're watching me from. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh my god. So guys, I continue to welcome you to my channel. I am CD674, your real African village life content creator, and of course, the East Africa's youngest YouTuber. I also do community outreach programs, nature, and tourism vlogs. So guys, in case it is your first time to see me, please consider subscription, turn your notification bells on so that whenever I post something new, you're the first one to get the update. And in case you're my returning subscribers, yeah, you have been enjoying my videos. Oh my god, I can't thank you enough. And I promise I'll give you the best forever, and you're the best. I really appreciate your love and support. So guys, subscribe, comment, like, and share this video. So in today's live video, yeah, it is all about I'm going to give you our traditional cultural stories. Like when you stay tuned, you're going to enjoy, and you are going to learn about our African traditional culture, and you will also know you see depending where you're watching from, you keep cattle, you keep cows. So I'm going to share with you how those cows came to have different colors. Yeah, in traditional African culture, there is a story behind that, and many other traditional culture stories. And of course, I'll be also answering the questions you may be posing about the stories, and then I'll also give you mine. Like, this life is going to be the best. So if you have just joined right now, just drop the name and where you're watching from in the chat section as guys we go on. So the stories I'm going to give you today, we shall begin with the keeper of the golden stool and the forgotten river. Yeah, there is a story titled The Keeper of the Golden Stool and the Forgotten River. So deep in the heart of the Ashanti Kingdom, where the dense rainforest whispered secrets through the rustling canopy, the sun dipped below the horizon, bathing the village of Asamang in shades of deep copper and indigo. The village fire blazed brightly at the center of the clearing, its embers dancing toward the evening stars. Around the frames sat young and old alike, their faces illuminated by the warm light, eager for the evening's tale. So old Nana Osei, the village storyteller, smoothed his woven kente cross over his knees and adjusted his carved wooden stool. He lifted his hand, and a hush fell over the gathered crowd. Before the white mist learned to settle on the hills, and before the great rivers had names, Nana Osei began, his voice low and resonant. There lived a hunter named Kofi. Kofi was strong and skilled with a bow, but his heart was burdened by a heavy shadow. He believed his strength belonged to him alone. He did not leave offerings for the earth spirits, nor did he thank the forest for the game he brought home. The fire crackled, casting long, swaying shadows across the dirty ground. One dry season, a terrible drought struck the kingdom. The streams turned to cracked mud. The crops withered in the heat, and the animals fled deep into the uncharted wilderness. Desperate to feeding his family, Coffee ventured further into the high forest than any hunter dared to go. Days passed with no sign of water or game until he stumbled upon a hidden valley veiled in shimmering golden fog. Nana Osei paused, looking around at the wide-eyed children leaning forward in suspense. In the center of this valley ran a river of crystal clear water, flowing effortless despite the drought. Sitting on a stone beside the water was an old woman, her skin as lined as the bark of an ancient mahogany tree. Floating just above the river was the legendary golden stool of the ancestors, glowing with a soft, radiant light. Coffee approached. His bow drawn. "Stand aside, old woman," he demanded. "I must take this water back to my village, and the growing stool will bring me great honor." The old woman did not flinch. She turned her clouded eyes toward him and spoke, her voice like the gentle rustle of dry palm leaves. "This is the river of remembrance, young hunter. It flows only for those who understand that life is a shared web, woven by those who came before and those who come after. If you drink or take from this river without gratitude, its waters will turn to ash, and the stool will vanish forever." Coffee scoffed, letting greed cloud his mind. Pushing the old woman aside, he rushed to the bank and dipped his brass bucket into the water. But as soon as the bucket touched the surface, the clear stream turned into black, choking dust. The radiant golden stool vanished into thin air, and a blinding darkness swept over the valley. Nana Osei lowered his voice, making the crowd lean in even closer. Coffee fell to his knees in the dark, unable to find his way back. He spent 3 days wandering in the shadowed valley without food or water, realizing at the depths of his arrogance. Alone in the dark, he remembered his elders' teachings that no man prospers alone, and that true strength lies in humility and reverence for the community. With tears in his eyes, Coffee knelt upon and dry earth and pressed his forehead to the ground. "Forgive me, ancestors," he whispered into the night. "I took without asking, and sought glory without gratitude. If you guide me back, I'll spend my days serving my people, not myself." A cool breeze blew through the valley. The darkness dissolved, and the old woman stood before him once more, holding out a single, plain wooden calabash filled with clear water. "Take this back to Asamang," she instructed gently. power it into the roots of the great baobab in the center of your village. As long as you and your people remember to share what you have and honor the earth, the rain will return. Coffee wept with relief. He carried the calabash carefully across the long miles home. When he arrived, he poured the water at the base of the baobab tree as he was told. Instantly, thunder. Nana Osai raised his wooden staff, tapping it gently on the ground. From that day forward, Kofi laid down his bow as a hunter of glory and became a keeper of stories, ensuring every generation understood that our blessings are not ours to hold. The golden still remains hidden, but its light shines whenever we lift each other up. Yeah, guys, so that is my story, and that is my traditional African culture story. Carefree, you may ask these questions yourself. What does the golden stool represent? So, guys, in Ashanti culture, the golden stool, also known as the Sikadwa coffee, is a sacred symbol of unity, royal authority, and the collective soul of the nation. In the story, it symbolizes divine grace, ancestral connection, and the spiritual health of the community. Then, why did the river turn to dust when coffee touched it? The river reacts to the intention of the person taking from it. Because coffee approached with greed, arrogance, and a desire for personal glory, the sacred water transformed into ash to show that self motives corrupt natural and spiritual gifts. Then you may also ask yourself, what is the main moral or lesson of the story? Actually, this is a great question that you ask yourself. What is the main moral or lesson of the story? The core lesson is humility, community over individualism, and stewardship. It teaches that human beings must respect nature and their heritage, and that individual strength is meaningless if it is not used to serve the collective good. Then when we talk about culture and symbolism details, you may ask yourself, is Asamang a real place? Yes, Asamang or similar variations is a real town in the Ashanti region of Ghana, making the setting grounded in actual geography and heritage. So why is the old woman significant in African folklore? In many West African tales, elders or old women encountered in the wilderness act as tests of character. They often disguise spirits or ancestors who reward humility and punish arrogance. Yeah. So, what is a calabash and why was it used instead of the brass bucket. A calabash is a dried held out to guard traditional used as a vessel, while coffee's brass bucket represented vanity and material wealth. The plain wooden calabash symbolized simplicity, humility, and harmony with nature. And then there is character motivations and plot. So you may also ask yourself, why did the coffee change his mindset after being trapped in the dark? So isolation and helplessness stripped away coffee's illusion of self-reliance. Facing total darkness forced him to reflect on his elders' teachings and realize that without his community and the ancestors' blessing, his physical strength was useless. Then why didn't Coffee keep hunting after the story ended? So he realized his true calling was not taking from nature for status, but rather preserving wisdom for the next generation. Becoming a storyteller allowed him to protect his community spiritually, just as he once tried to protect them physically. So guys, if you are just joining right now, are you watching your girl CD674 here? And I am sharing with you our real African village culture stories. And then I'm also sharing with you the lessons learned in those stories. Yeah, so did the golden stool ever return to the village? No, it remained hidden. The story implies that sacred gifts do not need to be physically possessed or displayed to benefit the community. Their power lives on through righteous action and shared values. So I told you in the intro, I told you when I was starting this live, I told you you will get to know why the cows have different colors. So I know everybody watching, depending where you're watching from, at least you have cows in your home country, you have cows in the village, like you have ever seen a cow, you know. So you ask yourself, why this cow looks white or black or what? So there is a traditional story here in Africa behind that. Yeah, if you have been asking yourself how cows came to have different colors, I have here the traditional story behind that. So I want you to listen carefully. And before we go on, please, in case you're new, subscribe, tap your screens and give a like, share this live video so that it reaches to everyone. So the horns of the sacred anchor and the test of gratitude. That is the title of the story. Long ago in the rush, lowering hills of Ankole, where the morning mist hung thick over the valleys of Nkole, lived two brothers named Lutamu and Katulo. Though born of the same house, their hearts walked a very different paths. Katulo was a tiller of the soil, spending his days sweating in the banana groves and millet fields. But let me first read this comment from Ngokupiham. Ngokupiham, if you have just joined right now, I'm sharing with you the African traditional stories behind how the cows came to have different colors. Yeah, here in African villages, we have a traditional story behind that. So if you have just joined right now, that is what I'm sharing with you, and I request you to stay tuned, yeah, and you pay attention so that you can really enjoy the story. Yeah. You know, you have cows at your home, and you normally ask yourself how those cows came to have different colors. And here in African traditional culture stories, we bring it to your screens very clearly. So I was giving you this story titled The Horns of the Sacred Ankori and the Test of Gratitude. Yeah. So Katula was the Tyler of the Soul. Ngokpani says, thank you very much for answering my question. Good luck with your channel. You're beautiful. Okay, thank you so much. Where are you watching from? Yeah, where are you watching from? So Katula was the Tyler of the Soil, spending his days sweating in the banana groves and millet fields. But Lutam was the cattle keeper, a Mnyankole whose heart beat in rhythm with the majestic. Longhorned cattle, also known as Enyenebra. Yeah. To Rutamu, his cows were not mere livestock, they were poetry, status, and the very breeze of his ancestors. So he sang a Chevgo, and of course that one is also known as the traditional praise poetry, to his heart every evening as the sun dipped behind the hills, calling each cow by its name, honoring the calves of their towering white horns. So during this time, the great king, the Omgabe, announced a grand celebration at his palace. The kingdom had suffered a harsh dry spell, but the rains had finally returned. So the Omgabe decreed that the man who brought the most noble gift to honor the press would be granted a fertile valley and a herd blessed by the royal court. So Rutam chose his prized cow, Luhalo, whose horns were so wide and brilliant. They resembled the crescent moon descending upon the earth. He bathed her in clear stream water, brushed her coat until it shone like polished bronze, and whispered words of respect to her before setting off. So Katulo, wishing to join his brother, harvested the finest, sweetest bunches of matoke, yeah, that is green bananas, and a pot of aged millet wine. So as they journeyed together toward the Omgabe's palace, they encountered, oh, here my friend says I'm from Vietnam. Oh, Vietnam is represented. Thank you so much for joining my live. Have you already subscribed to my channel, my good friend from Vietnam? Yeah, please, if you have not, kindly subscribe to my channel and double tap screen to give a like this live video. And of course, you can also share it to all your friends, and you can also follow the link and you enjoy my long form videos there. I have a lot of videos upcoming. I have my latest release, yeah. My friend from Vietnam says I just subscribed. Oh my god, thank you so much for subscribing. You're the best. I really love that. Yeah. So kind of share this link to all your friends and then follow for more. I have their latest long form videos. Then I have the upcoming videos. Like when you go to my channel, you will enjoy the best from the real African veggies. Yeah. So kindly go and check out for me, and you watch uh, everything there. Okay, we go on. I'm still telling you the story behind how cows came to have different colors. So I will leave the stream and discover your channel now. I'm interested in you. Thanks for sharing. Oh my God. My good friend from Vietnam. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is all I needed to hear today. Yeah, you have just given me some energy. Yeah, when I read this comment, I really get energized. You know, somebody to leave just like this comment. Yeah, it is really beautiful. And I really appreciate your love and support is valuable to me. You mean the world to me. I cannot take it for granted. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for choosing to watch my videos. Yeah. Okay, so we go on here on this story. So as those two brothers started the journey together toward the Omgala's Paris, they encountered a frail old man sitting by the roadside, covered in dust and leaning heavily on a walking stick. Travelers, the old man called out weakly. I have walked from the distant hills and have no strength left. Will you spare a drop of milk or food for an old wanderer? Catulo scoffs, adjusting his heavy load of crops. My yields are for the Omgare alone. I cannot waste the fruits of my labor on a stranger by the Lord. Lutamu, however, halted his prized cow. He knelt beside his carved wooden milk pot, and that pot is called a chanzi, poured a generous portion of rich fresh milk and offered it to the old man with both hands, a traditional sign of deep respect. The old man drank deeply, wiping his mouth with the back of his hands. His tired eyes suddenly sparkled with an ancient wisdom. He looked at Ritamu's grand cow and then at the young man. You honor the old ways of Nkole. The old man murmured softly. I see somebody who is giving me some hearts. Yeah, my good friend, thank you so much for the hearts. Yeah, I really appreciate. I really appreciate. I really appreciate. So the old man added these words. He said, "You know that milk is meant to nourish life, not just to display walls. When you reach the palace, the Omgabe will ask you to present your offering. Do not boast of your cow's beauty. Speak instead of what she gives to the land." When the brothers arrived at the royal court, uh, the grounds were filled with workmen flaunting gold, beads, and massive harvests. Catulo steps forward first, boasting loudly about the size of his crops and how no one worked harder than he. The Omgabe listened in silence, nodding politely, but his eyes remained cold. Then came Lutamu. He led Luhalo into the center of the court. Instead of boasting about his own strengths or worth, Tam stepped forward and recited a powerful Echevgo. I told you the Echevgo is our traditional poetry, like praising the earth that fed the herd, the ancestors who protected the lineage, and the milk that sustained the weak. He recounted how even a single bowl of milk could restore life to a dying traveler on the road. As he finished his poetry, the old man from the roadside stepped out from behind the royal throne, draped in the fine robes of the chief royal counselor. So the Omgawe stood up and smiled. Wealth in Ankara is not measured by what a man holds, but by how his blessings flow to others. Katuro brought the food of the soul, but his heart was cold. Rutam brought the spirit of our culture, generosity, respect, and gratitude. The Omgabe bestowed upon Rutamu the fertile valley of Mbara and named him the chief herder of the royal estate. From that day on, the people of Ankara remember that while the long horns of their cattle reach toward the sky, a true Nyankore's heart must always remain grounded in kindness. So that was the story behind how different cows came to have different colors. So you may ask yourself, who are the Banyankore people and where are they located? The Banyankore or Nkore people are in a Bantu ethnic group native to southwestern Uganda. And traditionally, their society was divided into two main socio-economic groups. The Wahima, the pastoralists who raised long-horned cattle, and the Bailu, agriculturists who cultivated crops. Then you can also ask yourself, why are longhorned Ankole cattle so important in this culture? The longhorned Ankole cattle are much more than a source of food. They are deeply tied to identity, status, marriage dowries, and spirituality. So in Banyankore tradition, cattle represent grace and beauty, and individual cows are given personal names and praised through poetry. Then you can also ask yourself, what is a chevgo? You had me talk of a chevgo in the story that I was giving you. So a chevgo is a traditional praise poem recited by pastoralists to celebrate their cultural brave deeds in battle or historical events. It is spoken with high energy, rhythm, and passion to evoke pride and honor. Like as you see, poems, poems. So this word achevgo means these traditional poems. Yeah, you may be knowing poems, but which are not traditionally told by people. Then you heard me speak of a chanzi. So you can ask yourself, what is a chanzi? A chanzi is a traditional wooden milk pot carved from a single piece of wood and smoked inside to preserve and give a distinct flavor to fresh milk. And it is an iconic symbol of Banyankore hospitality and home life. Yeah. And then when we talk about the story meaning and character dynamics, You may ask yourself, why did the Mugabe value Lutamu's offering over Katulo's? While Katulo brought rich crops, he did so purely out of self-interest and vanity, refusing to help a starving stranger. Lutamu showed that he understood the true spirit of Banyankole culture, using his blessings to nourish others and showing respect to elders regardless of their appearance. Yeah. But then, what is the significance of the old man on the road? You know, in East African folklore, travelers or beggars encountered on a journey are often tests sent by ancestors or spirits. How a person treats a helpless stranger reveals their true moral character before they face higher authority. Yeah. Then what does the title Omugabe mean? What does the title Omugabe mean? Omugabe was the official title for the king of the Ankole kingdom. The king was viewed as the supreme leader and custodian of the land, culture, and well-being of his people. Then, what modern lesson can we take from Lutamu and Katulo? Yeah, what modern lesson can we learn about this story that I've shared with you? And of course, guys, if you missed on the story, you will watch the recap. Yeah, so that you enjoy that traditional story. So the story reminds us that success isn't just about hard work or accumulating wealth. So the story reminds us that success isn't just about hard work or accumulating wealth. It's about how we treat people when no one is watching. Generosity and character will always open doors that arrogance closes. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for being part of this live video. Yeah, I hope you have really enjoyed my stories. I was sharing with you the African traditional culture stories, and one of them was how why did the cows come to have different colors, and behind the scenes there is a traditional African story about it. So I've shared it with you, and the lessons we learn from there. Like, I hope you have really enjoyed everything. So please subscribe, comment, like, and share this video. And of course, I really appreciate your love and support. Yeah, it means the world to me. I cannot take it for granted. And I hope to see you in my next video. Stay tuned for more updates from your Seed 674. And even when you check out, you're going to find my new long form videos, which you have not yet watched. You can go there and you watch, you comment on them. and you enjoy everything on my channel. Stay tuned. I love you all. Bye bye.